Good afternoon, folks. I have discussion aid for you. We're discussing aging as an asset rather than a liability. Drawing from places like Okinawa, various African nations, indigenous communities, and parts of South and East Asia. In these cultures, elders are not tucked away or treated as burdens. They are anchors of continuity, people whose lived experience helps guide families, mediate conflicts, and transmit values. The the piece contrasts this with youth-centric Western norms, suggesting that the loss of elder authority has weakened community cohesion and our collective sense of meaning. It ultimately invites readers to imagine what would change personally and socially if we reclaimed a worldview that sees aging as a deepening rather than a diminishing. Core messages, values, and emphasized respect for elders as knowledge keepers. The article repeatedly returns to the idea that older adults hold liberties of memory, insight about relationships, land, spirituality, and resilience that cannot be Googled or replaced. Their wisdom is framed as a stabilizing force in times of uncertainty, community, and interdependence. Cultures that celebrate aging tend to emphasize the we over I. Elders are woven into daily life, consulted on decisions, included in rituals, and relied upon for emotional grounding. The article suggests that this interdependence strengthens everyone, not just older adults. Gratitude, presence, and adaptability. Many of the many of the high, many of the highlighted cultures teach that aging well is less about physical perfection and more about cultivating perspective, finding joy in small routines, accepting change, and staying mentally flexible. These traits are presented as both learned and teachable. How the article connects ideas to practice. The piece doesn't stop at admiration. It translates cultural observations into everyday doable behaviors. It encourages readers to initiate regular conversations with older relatives, neighbors, or community members. Practice slow listening. Practice slow listening, letting elders speak without rushing them or steering their narrative. Support or create intergenerational programs in schools, libraries, or community centers. Invite elders to share skills, gardening, cooking, crafts, spiritual practices as a way of restoring their social visibility. These actions are framed as small but powerful steps toward rebuilding a culture that honors aging. Tone, audience, and purpose. The tone is warm, hopeful, and gently directive. It speaks to readers who sense that something is missing in how modern societies treat older adults and are looking for alternatives. The article blends cultural anthropology with self-help, offering both inspiration and a roadmap. Its purpose is twofold. One, educational, to show that relevance for elders is not rare or nostalgic, but a living global norm. Two, motivational, to encourage readers to adopt practices that counter ageism and strengthen community ties. Key takeaways to apply immediately. Listen more intently. Ask elders about their turning points, mentors, mistakes, and joys. Treat their stories as gifts, not uh, digressions. Create low pressure recurring spaces. A weekly tea, a shared walk, or a community storytelling circle can build trust and continuity. Celebrate contributions publicly. Highlight elders' roles in volunteering, caregiving, art, activism, or cultural preservation. Visibility helps uh, dismantle stereotypes. Shared shared decision making. Invite older adults into planning conversations, family, neighborhood, or organizational to signal that their perspective matters. Why the cross culture angle matters. By drawing from Okinawan centurions, African village councils, indigenous elder circles, and Asian uh, finality traditions. The article shows that honoring older adults is not an anomaly. It's a global pattern with deep involuntary and social logic. These cultures thrive not because elders are perfect, but because they are integrated. The message is clear. Valuing elders is not about romancing the past. It's about recognizing a universal human strategy for resilience, continuity, and collective well being. Okay, guys, here's the second part: aging across borders. How we age around the world examines how culture shapes the experience, treatment, and social meaning of growing older. The article argues that aging is universal but perceived and organized very differently across societies, and that those differences matter for family life, social policy, and how older adults are valued. Main cultural contrasts: in Eastern collectivism versus Western individualism. In many Asian societies, group harmony and family duty encourage multi-generational living and expectations that younger relatives will care for elders. In more individualistic Western contexts. Autonom- Autonomy and self-reliance make institutional options like retirement communities more common. Different moral and religious roots, Confucian phil, Philippides, Buddhist and joint family traditions, and Protestant work ethics are cited as cultural forces that shape whether aging is framed as wisdom and duty or as decline and reduced social value. Drivers of change in how societies age. The article highlights urbanization, rising living costs, globalization, and capitalism as forces pushing many societies away from traditional joint families toward uh, unclear house unclear households and institutional elder care. These economic and demographic shifts are changing expectations about provider who provides care and how older people fit into daily life. consequences, and implications. Policy and planning. Rapid population aging affects housing, social protection, and family structures, creating urgent policy questions about elder care and social safety nets. Attitudes versus behavior. The piece notes that cultural norms do not always equal personal attitudes. People may care for elders out of duty or conformity, even if they hold mixed feelings about aging itself. Practical takeaways and suggestions. Recognize cultural context. When designing elder care policies or community programs, one size does not fit all. Support integrational contacts and community structures that preserve elder roles as knowledge holders. Plan for demographic change by considering housing, social protection, and services that reflect both economic realities and cultural values. Tone and purpose. The article blends cross cultural analysis with practical concern. It aims to educate readers about why aging looks different around the world and to prompt reflection on how social change may be reshaping respect, care, and lived experience for later life. Okay, guys, that is A for you. I will be back on shortly with B. Give me a little bit for B, please, and I'll be back on with that for you. But for now, Gator Wellness, take care, folks.